I'm so glad we got it done. We have a really beautiful SRD soundtrack, so it's going to be Dolby 35 millimeter. We ran in while they were tech checking it, and it sounds fucking awesome, and it looks crisp and vibrant and grainy like it's supposed to. I've never been to Ojai before, so I was curious what the crowd was going to be like on a Monday night for a 16 millimeter exploitation movie, and I gotta say, this exceeds my expectations. Thank you guys for all coming out.
A perfect storm of lousy news sees out-of-work filmmaker Jimmy Lang spiral into a bender, during which he claims to have been abducted by aliens, and fearing for their return, he contacts his old friend Stiggs to help him gear up for war. What's going on, Flick Stalkers? Welcome back to another movie review, this time for Jimmy and Stiggs. It does get its theatrical debut on August 15th, 2025. I was able to see it early with an awesome Q&A, which I will show at the end of this review, from the director himself as well as some of the castmates in the movie. Now, right off the bat, this guy, Joe Begos, is an interesting character, I will just say that. And he also talked about his previous works. He did mention that this is his 6th film, which I was like, okay, so what other films could I have possibly seen from this guy? And then he mentioned Christmas, Bloody Christmas from 2022, which was a movie I did catch on Shudder, and I didn't even know that he had made it. Now that I know that he did that movie, which I had a really good time with, this makes sense. He definitely has a style of really in your face. The editing is extremely clean. All the kills are practical, and it seems like when you turn on one of his films, you're gonna have a batshit time. Now, this cast is very tight. This location is very claustrophobic, so we're gonna get directly into the small cast, starting off with Joe Begos as Jimmy Lang. Now, his character is erratic. He's constantly drinking and doing cocaine, and the movie does a great job of showing you that this guy is definitely struggling. I mean, he's calling his agent, he's asking about the next project. He's really stressing a lot of these situations. He also is going through some things with his girlfriend, so there's a lot of things going on in Jimmy's life. Now, almost immediately, we get slammed into some kind of weird paranormal thing going on. He thinks it's an earthquake happening. It's definitely not. And then our alien abduction ensues. Our alien attacks ensue. Next, we're introduced to Matt Mercer, who plays Stiggs, his best friend, and I actually really like this actor. I have not seen him. I think he does have a small cameo in Christmas, Bloody Christmas, and there's a lot of banter that goes on between these guys. I mean, they are friends, but of course, like best friends do, they clash at times when it comes to emotional or just hard to talk about subject nature, like friendship, like loyalty, like where are you in my time of need? And these guys definitely had a script that they were reading off of, but we were told after the movie that a lot of these scenes were improv, and you could definitely tell, as once again, it seemed like realistic dialogue between them two. And that's kind of our cast for the next 80 minutes. So let's get into all of the mayhem, because this is what you guys have seen, all the clips in the trailers. It is a neon splatter fest, and there's no real rhyme or reason behind it. You're just in, turn your brain off for about 80 minutes, like I said, have a fun, wild ride, and yeah, it's gonna be in your face, guys. So if you're not used to stuff like this, Evil Dead, I definitely got vibes of The Faculty from Robert Rodriguez, and a lot of shots that could be really jarring with a lot of neon lights flickering back and forth. Some of these hyperly intense scenes might not be for you, but they're for someone definitely like me and the audience that was watching. So what did this movie do well? Now, I'm gonna go back to the dialogue, guys. I'm a huge fan of Rob Zombie, obviously, and a lot of people don't like his kind of just in your face, just cursing every 5 seconds from his characters, but you know what? That adds to the realism of the scene, of where we're at, the characters that we're dealing with, and once again, this is an alien attack. Of course, you're going to be cursing and wondering what the fuck is going on every 5 seconds. So in that vein, once again, Jimmy and Stiggs were very believable once they were being attacked by aliens. Of course, Stiggs is definitely hesitant as he doesn't know what the fuck is going on until he sees these aliens. Now, the aliens themselves, it's completely practical effects, guys. And at first, when you watch this trailer, you think it's just going to be a bunch of created aliens for the movie with people throwing them to make them look like they're floating. They actually went the extra mile and did some things that I definitely have to give kudos to the makeup and the production department. There's also a lot of close-up shots of the aliens with them blinking, and we were trying to figure out how the hell did they achieve this in practical. Also, there's some close-up shots of the aliens with tentacles coming out of their mouth, which once again gave me vibes of The Faculty, which I definitely loved. I asked the question to Joe Begos, did he have any inspiration when writing this film? He said he didn't, but instinctually, just as movie watchers, we intake so much movies and entertainment, we can't help but instinctually be influenced by something. So he wasn't writing with any other movies in mind, and I gotta give it to him. At the end of the day, this is definitely one of those original projects. Now, the choice to go completely like neon for the blood and the guts of the alien was awesome. And before I forget, This film is completely set in Joe Begos' actual apartment in Los Angeles, California. And oh my gosh, that in itself had to be a struggle. We asked a lot of questions. The audience asked a lot of questions. How did they achieve this? Were the neighbors pissed? Like, what was happening? How did you guys do this in a span of 4 years? He just let it be known that he was really, really cool with his neighbors and he threw parties all the time with them. But I think the choice, once again, for the neon blood really works well with this, guys, as you are in a dreary apartment. So, of course, splatters of orange just everywhere really pop on the big screen. We were fortunate enough to be watching a 35 millimeter copy film, baby. It looks so good with all of the grain and some of the, just little pops in the corners of the screen to definitely give it that old school aesthetic. And I love that. Now, of course, with the blood comes the gore. So you get a lot of scenes of, arms being lopped off by machetes. You get a lot of chainsaw kills. You get a lot of shotgun kills. They are done very, very effectively, once again, for this very, very confined location. All right, now some of the things that I didn't really enjoy from Jimmy and Stiggs was some of the scenes definitely felt expanded upon, definitely felt like filler to pad the runtime, and that's okay. He even talked about it in the Q&A that he had to pad the runtime to make it an 80-minute film project, and there's definitely a couple of scenes in the middle of the movie where you can feel that the most. It didn't completely suck me out because, once again, I'm used to extensive dialogue from my favorite director, Quentin Tarantino, and Rob Zombie. He does a lot of this raunchy, explicit dialogue once again. So I'm used to it, but a lot of people might not dig it or they might tune out. And also by the end of the movie, no spoilers in the third act, but there were some things that I had a lot of questions about. I'm not going to say plot holes, but I just was left with so many questions of why. And maybe that's intentional from Joe, but for me, I wanted some things like wrapped up with a bow a little tighter than what they were. There was a couple of mysteries that we didn't really come back to that were shown early on in the movie. And I was just like, okay, well, what about this scene that you guys showed and didn't explain whatsoever? Once again, not too much to suck me out of the movie. I was there to have a good time, but at some points in this movie, it definitely felt like a lot longer than 80 minutes. All in all, guys, Jimmy and Stiggs was awesome for the fact that they were able to do this in their own apartment. They were able to act in the movie, direct in the movie, pretty much do all of their own stunts as well. They got Eli Roth involved to present this movie. So this is an awesome, awesome project, and I think very, very fun for the horror fans. We know that 2025 has been a huge year for horror, so I want to let you guys know that this movie is coming out in theaters August 15th, 2025, and I would love for you guys to support it. Go buy a ticket, guys. Have a great, great time, and obviously you got to have some drinks or something else in your system to enjoy this movie fully, but tell a friend to tell a friend. Horror is back, and if you guys want a mindless, brainless time that's definitely going to look cool with all of that neon splatter on the big screen, I definitely recommend you guys check out Jimmy and Stiggs. And all that being said, I think I'm going to give Jimmy and Stiggs a solid 3 out of 5. All right, Flitz Talkers, do you plan to watch this movie? Let me know in the comments below. Are you interested? Are you intrigued to search out more information about this movie? Or have you already seen this movie at some of the festivals or in theaters? Please let me know in the comments below your thoughts. And if you guys did appreciate mine, hit that big thumbs up to support the channel. It's completely free and it helps out immensely with the algorithm. Also consider subscribing today for more reviews like this, movie reactions, and live streams 3 times a week here on the channel. All right, Flitz Talkers, I'll catch you guys in the next one, and check out some of this B-roll footage and Q&A that I got from the premiere. I'll catch you guys next time.
And I had made Bliss and VFW back-to-back. They came out right before the pandemic started, and I had a lot of career heat. And I was like, oh, cool, well, hopefully I can get my next movie financed really quickly. And everything shut down, so I was like, well, I'm going to finance my own movie very quickly. And I was hoping it would be done, within that year. And it took another 4 years because I decided to make something that was this complicated. And essentially, too, like I said before the movie, a lot of people try to make a movie like this as their debut feature. And I had an entire filmography that I was very proud of that I built towards. So, like, it wasn't something that I wanted to just stop or that I wanted to finish quickly. Like, it needed to be an organic evolution of everything before it, so 10, 15 years from now, people wouldn't be like, well, that's the movie that Joe shit out during the pandemic. It's a little fucking side piece. No, it needed to be like an actual organic evolution of everything I've been doing before, despite the, the 10 by 20 parameters I put myself into, making myself star in it. So I was up against that too, just trying to make the most kind of explosively propulsive exploitation splatter movie possible, despite being in my apartment with my credit cards and whatever money I was making as we went along. And
You
that's
succeeded.
sort of why it took so long. I also made another movie halfway through that took about a year and a half. So
Your biggest movie too, which is why you felt the need to.
yeah, we all took about a year and a half off to go make that Christmas Buddy Christmas. So, I mean, yeah, it took 4 years to make, but theoretically it was 2.5 years of working on the movie. But again, you know, when I say 2.5 years of production, it wasn't like we were shooting every day. It's like we were shooting a couple days a month, or I would spend a couple weeks building a set or replenishing a set or trying to figure out how to do the next thing.
Place pretty good with that.
Fucked up the place pretty good with
Oh
that.
yeah, it still looks like that. I'm living there right now. It's actually more fucked up now than ever.
Also, whenever you shoot with Joe, you know whatever is on the script is going to change eventually, because it'll be like, how can we make this more badass? So that was also a problem. It's like, we're gonna shoot this, and it's like, wait, what if we did this? And then also Josh, he was like, well, let's find out a way to put a flamethrower in there, which we never got to do. So hopefully Jimmy and Stiggs too, when his head comes back together, we're gonna do the flamethrower. We made it. It's awesome. I have video of it. Him in an astronaut shoot with a flamethrower. It's great.
Well, also, all you guys are here, you know, watching this. If you pay to go see it this weekend, it'll help this Jimmy and Sticks 2 come to fruition. And then maybe in 5 years we can be up here premiering it.
Did you have any inspiration for writing the script? Like any other horror movies in mind when you were writing it?
I don't really. I try not to like be super influenced by something specific. I did that a lot earlier in my career, and I try to avoid that now. But just subconsciously, there's a lot of stuff that, you know, I become influenced by. Like when Matt Splits Open, obviously it's very inspired by The Thing. Obviously, a lot of the POV stuff is very inspired by Enter the Void. Obviously, a lot of the splatter is inspired by like Bad Taste and Dead Alive, and I didn't necessarily seek out trying to replicate those things. They just are so ingrained in my brain that as I try to build my own thing, they seep into it. But I very much wanted this to be my own thing. I mean, it's me basically extended, you know, hyperbolized as a character in my apartment with my career and things that were going on in my life at the time. Like, so I try not to be directly influenced by things or shape things based on movies as much as I can. I try to avoid that now, but you know, sometimes you can't fucking help it. And sometimes things happen that you don't even realize are subconsciously influencing what you're doing. And then afterwards I'm like, well yeah, obviously, you know, that was influenced by this, but I wasn't sitting there writing it or trying to plot it based on that.
Yeah, I got vibes a little bit of The Faculty with the tentacles coming out of the mouth and stuff.
Yeah, you know, I didn't really
Thank
think
you.
about that, but
Love that
I've
movie.
seen the movie 500 times. You know. They're Josh and Sarah are the ones who came up with the tentacles blowing out of the mouth of those air
nice.
compressors, so maybe they ripped off the faculty.
They only lasted so long, and also when they popped, it was like ear piercing. We were in a small apartment at like 3 a.m. and it would be like pop, and we would all just be like, oh fuck, do it over again. It's like.